Meet newlyweds Trevor and Megan Wilson. And this is Megan's 12-year-old Jack Russell Terrier, Sydney.
I've had Sydney since I was 12. She's a brilliant dog. I mean, she's a Jack Russell. They're known for their intelligence. I love her to death. I mean, she's sweet. She loves me. She's very loyal.
Sweet girl. This is where Sydney sleeps then?
Yes.
Stays?
Yeah.
While you're not here?
Right.
Okay. I notice she's shaking.
Yeah. She's got anxiety or something. Even when she's happy, I mean, take her on a walk, she shakes.
She shakes?
Yeah.
All right, if you could let Sydney out and...
Victoria wants to see what would happen if Sydney had the free run of the
To
house.
keep this safe, why don't you go out the yard now and be with Sam, and I'll let Sydney out and just see how she reacts
Okay.
in the house so I can see it for myself.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. This is crazy.
Hey, Sam.
Hello. Now, what is all of this, Oh, there, she's seen them. She sees them out there with Sam. She's starting to tremble. There's a little bit of a whimper there. You poor thing. You didn't ask for this dog to come into your house, did you? Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, so she's seen Sam at the door now. And now she's barking, okay. Okay, I think I've seen enough. Can you guys come back in now?
Stay. Good boy.
Come in. Okay. It wasn't really until she really saw Sam at the window did she then bark.
Right.
But she did have stress symptoms.
Yeah.
She was shaking. There would be no doubt that the barking probably could carry on all day, and that wouldn't be great for the neighbors, would it? But most importantly, it would not be great for you.
Stressful,
Yeah.
stressful for her.
Yeah. Show me where you...
Having seen Sydney's ill will towards Sam, next, Victoria sees where Sam is kept safe during the day.
Right, so this is your yard. A nice lot of room for him. It's quite hot, though,
Yeah.
It is hot, definitely hot in the summer
and he spends 8 to 9 hours out here
during the day.
in the heat of the summer. Would you be able to spend 8, 9 hours out of here comfortably? And you don't have a fur coat on.
Yeah, I sure wouldn't want to.
Right. Yeah. I can see you panting, mister. Hot, hot, hot. I'm in the shade now. I'm sweating. This is hot. And this dog has to stay out here for 9 hours. That makes me angry. Sydney doesn't have too many years left to live, but you've probably decreased that quite a lot by bringing Sam into your home. Because stress kills.
First, Victoria wants to show Megan and Trevor how the current situation is affecting Sydney.
I wanted to explain to you the effects of stress. I think it's really important that owners understand what's going on inside their dog, especially with Sydney and the stress she feels, and that's having an effect on her health. That's why I brought out the stress chart. When a dog experiences a major, either a trauma or fear, this brings the body up into a state of alarm. But gradually, we can get back to a normal state. Now, where it gets difficult is, again, from Sydney's point of view. Here we go. Bang! She experiences another stress. Sam. And then this time it doesn't really return to normal. It's a little above normal. And then bang, again, she experiences this stress again. And then doesn't have time to go back to normal because something else happens. And then eventually what you find is the body goes, I am now in a state of alarm forever. And this is where Sydney is.
Okay.
So in order to compensate, her body is in a state of distress. We call it chronic stress. So this is where Sydney is all the time, even when she's sleeping, even when she's here watching TV with you, internally, her body is always in that state of chronic stress. Stress is serious. Chronic stress causes all kinds of mental and physical problems. Chronic kidney infections, cardiovascular diseases, cancers. Any thoughts on this?
I think we're lucky that, you know, the physiological stuff hasn't really set in yet.
When Megan said, oh, well, the health problems haven't happened with Sydney yet, well, yeah. You know what's going on inside your dog's body? You bet. The stress is having health implications on her. You just can't see it yet. But what you probably don't realize is probably the diseases are already set in. We already know she has a little weakness in her heart, and that could get worse. How could it not make an impact when you understand the physiology of stress and what it's actually doing to your dog? What we're trying to do in this training is obviously get her away from this chronic stress that she feels. To say, you know what, Sydney, there are ways you can cope.
To help Sydney cope with Sam, Victoria will use positive reinforcement.
A lot of traditional training centers very much on the dog is behaving badly, you punish the dog.
Right.
You correct the dog's behavior. But we're not going to go the corrective, dominant, that's not going to be good for Sydney.
Right.
Sydney's confidence needs to be built up. That's how I treat aggressive dogs. I make them more confident. And I do this by clicker training.
Okay.
The clicker makes a clear and distinctive sound that is easy for dogs to identify.
One for you.
Thank you.
One for
By pairing up the sound with a treat, Victoria will be able to clearly mark any behavior that she wants to encourage in Sydney.
Sydney. Sydney is like an elastic band. She is taut. She is wired. She is tense.
To encourage her to calm down, Victoria will click and treat whenever Sydney relaxes.
I'm going to wait
Sydney
a bit.
quickly catches on.
Thank you, beautiful. I love it. You could visibly see the tension just go. And that's when we clicked and treated.
Good.
Just decreasing the time a little bit.
Victoria was awesome. She was so sharp with it. I mean, Sydney started relaxing.
Okay, call her over to you. Sydney.
Good girl.
Great.
Good girl.
Before she leaves the couple to try her techniques alone, Victoria wants to help 12-year-old Sydney de-stress.
She has to be, I think, one of the most highly strung Jack Russells I've ever met. And I think doggy massage is very important. The way you touch a dog actually has a profound effect on them. And in the chest, if you do like, oh, she's so good, she's so good, little calming, oh yeah, like that. So if you do that with her, just the circular motion, this is very nice, isn't it? Trevor, you can do this too.
Yeah, good girl.
What's really wonderful about this now is that she's not shaking. So those muscles that work so hard are now relaxed.
It was nice to see her just it took a little while, but to take some time and lay down and relax.
The last thing Victoria wants to tackle before she leaves is Sam and Sydney's living spaces.
So being in an environment like this for the dog 9 hours a day is too much.
Okay.
Most dogs, when they're out in a space like this, require a shelter. So that's your challenge. It's at over 100 degrees. In an ideal world, Sam wouldn't be out here. But I think there can be improvements. It would also be fantastic if you could get a dog walker during the day for both dogs. The other thing that you can do, not for Sydney, but for Sam, would be to investigate some possibilities of doggy daycare.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that difficult to make a few changes here. It's not that difficult to construct a good shelter, and I hope by the time I come back, I see all these improvements.
So is this it, or do we need to do anything else?
I think it's gonna be some great shade.
Yeah, I think you should like it.
Doggy cabana.
Doggy cabana.
There's a change for Sydney, too. She'll no longer be closed off from the world and has a new view.
Let me out!
Going to doggy daycare, huh?
Things are also changing out of the home for Sam.
He's so cute. How old is he?
It's about 2.5.
Oh, you're still a puppy. You're gonna have so much fun.
You know that he's probably not going to be aggressive. He's not trying to go after dogs, which is a good sign.
Right.
Victoria checks in on their progress, and she's delighted with Sam's new social club.
Oh, Sam's first day at doggy daycare. And he loves it. I knew he'd like it. I knew this is so good for him.
This place that we went to was really cool. I mean, there was all sorts of different dogs, and I think it was a great experience for Sam. I think that's something that we'll definitely look into do.
If he can do this 2-3 days a week, then he's in a cool place, he's having fun, he's being exercised, and he's hanging out with other dogs. I mean, what could be better? This gait now, what is happening now? She has more visuals. Is she barking more?
When we're working with her, it's great. That's a question we have for you. When we're not, like, how do you deal with that?
I think it's all right that when she's going to have her calming time, that she's behind the door.
Okay.
I just think it's for the full day.
Okay.
That's when she feels isolated. But little moments behind and just shut and a little bit of calm is fine.
Okay.
I'm really glad that Megan and Trevor took my advice and put the baby gate up there so that Sydney can see out. It means that she's going to feel less confined, less isolated. So I'd love to see what's out in the backyard. Show her your bed? Oh, Sam's bed. Very
Styling
nice.
now.
Oh, yeah.
Very stylish. Woo!
So we decided to go with a sandbox instead of a doggy house.
Okay.
'Cause
Okay.
we thought he'd use it more, and he seems to really like it.
Yeah, the fact that there's air that can get through, you know, that's great. So, I mean, it's shaded from the sun. That's all we really want. What do you think, Sam? What do you think? Is it nice and cool? I really loved the doghouse in the backyard, especially with the cooling pads underneath. Sam's got shade. He's got a cool place to go to when it's really hot. Perfect. I also saw that he went to doggy daycare.
Yeah.
He did go to doggy daycare.
And he did pretty well.
He loved it.
He did really well. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
They-
cute.
Is that something you're going to do more with him?
I think we're definitely looking into doing something. Maybe getting dog walkers a couple of days, maybe doing the doggy daycare a couple of days, that they're always at least getting some attention while we're out.
That's really good. And I also think, yeah, doggy daycare every day is probably not a good idea
Yeah.
because it's too much stimulation,
Gotcha.
too much. And dogs do need to have their chill out times. A dog walker, that's great.
Cool.
Fantastic, I love it. I was really impressed when I arrived at the house because I saw the changes that they'd made to Sydney's environment and to Sam's environment, and the changes. Thanks for watching. If you love It's Me or the Dog and want more dog training tips and tricks, visit my official site, positively.com. And if you're interested in learning more about becoming a dog trainer, check out the Victoria Stilwell Academy. Links to both sites are in the description. I'll see you online.